What's up, guy? Fuck you. Do you gotta make noise right when I go to start, or is it you did that on purpose?
I put my phone down. Just go ahead.
I'll go when I feel like it. How about that?
Okay.
You should really change your Skype picture. You're pretty ugly.
So are you.
What do you mean?
Stupid ass mustache that's not even like filled in all the way in the middle because you're like a fetus and the dumb hat and you think you're a badass.
Baby, what's the deal? You wanna watch Netflix and chill? Baby, I'm for real. I won't pull out if you want the pill. Baby, what's the deal? You wanna watch Netflix and chill? Baby, I'm for real. I won't pull out if you want the pill.
What's going on, everybody? JP back on Skype for Netflix and Chill, episode number 9. Which is going to be our featured review of We Are the Flesh, Mexican horror film. Joining me, as always, is Carly. What up, homie?
Not much. How are you doing?
I'm doing okay, but I was a little bit bummed out that how this episode was coming together because we really don't have much content, especially after the last episode where we had so much content, and this episode we're only going to talk about a few things. And the featured review, of course, We Are the Flesh. We're kind of up in the air about how to really do this show. Like, we don't really understand our thoughts, really. Like, we're kind of like, well, how should we do this? Like, should we look for things that match, or should we just kind of be all over the place? We'll find a format eventually, but for now, we're kind of just winging it. And we kind of lost all flow of release dates. So I think we need
I
to
don't even
focus.
remember, like, I don't even know how to get back on track. Like, I forget which week would have been the right week, and if we're doing this bi-weekly anymore or what. We're just kind of winging it.
Yeah, I know, and I think that for right now, until we get back on a permanent schedule, I think we'll probably try to do one every, like, 14 to 20 days-ish, you know, just kind of... every 2 to 2.5 weeks we'll have one out, and we'll just go with that. We're already on episode 9, which is pretty cool, but we kind of on one hand I want to review like more than one thing, but I find kind of a difficult time like fitting it into, it's like a puzzle. Like, how do we fit it into the episode? Like, should there be a theme? Should there not be a theme? Like, last time we did 3 baby movies, which was really cool. But, like, this time, like, how do you match something with We Are the Flesh, you know?
Yeah.
And I kind of dropped the ball a little bit. We were going to watch another film, and I didn't get to it, but you did. But I did watch 2 other things that I'll talk about that were streaming, so... we do have we do have a few things that are going on, but...
Just not together.
Yeah, we only watched one film together, but the other stuff that we're going to talk about is we watched on our own time.
Yeah.
So, I feel like we should do this. Okay, obviously always have a featured review. And if we can find something that matches with it, we can cover other things as well. Other than that, maybe we can do like other co-reviews where I'll be like, hey, watch Ghost Watch, and then we both watch that, and then we can talk about that as well. And then we can also do like challenges. Like, I have a challenge for you that I'm going to announce in a little bit. But
oh boy.
I think that we have the featured review, and then we have the whole beginning part is just talking about streaming stuff that we watched, essentially. And maybe we watched it together, it'll be a co-review, or we watched it solo, it'll be a single review. And that's kind of how we'll do this show. So, attempt to watch a few streaming things every show. We'll try to watch ones, you know, the same thing, but not all the time. And we'll kind of go with that. And we'll kind of keep I think the featured review should be like a new Netflix film. It should always be something new. But the non-featured review can be anything. It can be something new, old, something, TV show wise. It could kind of be whatever. That's kind of where I think we're floating on this, and I think that I kind of think that format will work the best. I still do want to watch like some Mystery Science Theater, and maybe that could be like the challenge, like for me or whatever. Like, hey, watch, like you have to watch that whole season, so every time you know, like keep up on that or whatever. I don't know, or it could be something else. But my challenge that I'm issuing to you, which I thought would be pretty interesting. Are you ready for it?
I think so.
Okay, so Netflix has an exclusive series, a Netflix original series that aired like 2 years ago, and it is called Making a Murderer. And I absolutely loved it. It's one of my favorite TV experiences of all time. It's such a well done show. It isn't directly like horror because it's like true crime, but it is true crime, which is very horrific. And I challenge you to watch one episode per podcast. So I believe there are 10 episodes, if I'm not mistaken. Have you ever heard of Making a Murderer?
I've heard of it, but don't really. I've never watched it or anything. How long are the episodes? Like an hour?
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I think I could manage.
Okay, so at least one episode per podcast, but you can do 2 if you want. And because it's two weeks between shows. So,
yeah.
I challenge you to do that. And every week I expect you, or every time we record, I expect you to report back and say, okay, I watched episode 1 of Making a Murderer. Here are my thoughts. And then I'll talk to you a little bit about it as it's going on. And because I think that it'll be interesting to get your impression on the case, because it's a very, very interesting case. So that's your challenge. So I want you to come back every week and tell me, or every 2 weeks, and tell me what you think. And then we'll get a chance to talk about that show a little bit. And I'm going to suggest that you don't do anything in terms of research. Do not look up any information about the show. Do not read any reviews. Just kind of go in blank.
Okay. Sounds good to me.
All right. And this is all part of my master plan to get you to not watch movies.
Yeah, I could tell. Don't worry. I know you're a loser. You're a sore loser, and you have to like make up little traps because you have to always get ahead. And you know what? I don't play that game. I don't do it that way. Like, I'm fair and square.
So you just lose legitly.
No, I can still keep up, but it's like I'm trying to like swim to the top, and you're trying to just push me back under, you know?
So explain to the listeners what I'm even talking about.
Okay, so ever since I met Mr. JP, well, not since I met him, but like at the start of, that would have been 2016, I guess, we decided to start competing over how many movies we watch per year. So starting January 1st up until December 31st, whoever has watched the most movies has to like take something away. And this is only horror movies too, by the way. They have to take something away from the other person that they adore and love and need to survive, you know, all that. So we basically keep a list, each of us, of all the horror movies that we watch and the ratings. It could be seasons of TV shows as well.
Yeah, which counts as 1 point. So you will get 1 point by the time you finish Making a Murderer.
Yeah. So, yeah. And then we tally them all up at the end, and whoever wins, wins, and whoever loses sucks.
Yeah, so I'm going to take away her microwave if I win, because for 6 months, actually, because she uses that thing way too much, and it's unhealthy, and she's lazy when it comes to cooking, so fuck that noise.
And I'm going to take away all of his energy drinks because he needs those to function, and I figure that he'll do poorly at work, get fired, and become homeless, and then that'll be part of my evil plan to destroy him.
Yeah, ass. But except for you can't win, because my total tally right now is at 104 compared to your like 80-something.
I'm at 96 now. I'm about to be at 96. I was watching a movie before we started recording, but I paused it, so I have like like 12 minutes left.
I wish I wouldn't have got this PS4 because now that's going to distract me. Not only did I get a PS4, but it came with like 10 games.
I feel like I'm not allowed to get any other hobbies because of this. Yeah. Like I feel like I should always be watching a movie.
So, my coworker gave me a PS4 that didn't work, but I fixed it and now I have a PS4, so that was really cool. Carly is actually going to be doing something that I challenged her to do this upcoming couple weeks too. But it's not Netflix related, it's not streaming related, so I'll just mention it. But you're going to be watching the Alien flicks for the very first time.
Oh yeah, forgot about that.
Because we have to go see the new Alien, which comes out in like a week. So you have to get watching the old ones so you know what the hell's going on.
Right.
And you can buy them at Walmart. So
yeah, I gotta go.
You should do that today or tomorrow.
I was going to today, but I got lazy.
Yeah.
But I will watch them. Like, I mean, I do want to see the first two at least because everyone talks about them, but it's just like that popular movie that I never had interest in just because.
Well, it has a few things going against it for you. One, it's called Alien, which to you that sounds stupid. Two, you know that it's set in space, which also to you sounds stupid. Three, you've heard that they're a little action-y, which also sounds stupid to you. So it has all these things going against it.
And also, like, I think it's because it's so, like, mainstream. Like, there's actually a ride at Disney World with a part from Alien in it. And I'm just like, I don't know. I just feel like, I don't know. I guess it is, like, the action vibe, too. It's kind of like with, like, Terminator or something. Yeah. Like, I just don't really care enough.
I'll give you a little, well, first of all, let's not insult Terminator here. But second of all,
I like Terminator 2. I did like that. I don't even think I saw the first Terminator though.
So Alien is very much like a slasher film. The first Alien, so at least you should enjoy that. It's just a slasher, but with an alien, and the second one is very action oriented, which is why I don't really like it.
Yeah.
But then the third one, I think, brings it back to horror a little bit. And then I've never seen the fourth one. And I love Prometheus. It's not really an alien movie per se, but it is damn good.
All right. I mean, I'll give them a shot. This gives me a reason to, at least.
Yeah.
Be forced into it.
So, I figured I would start by talking about the two things that I watched on streaming this week. And, I watched both of them between... I watched one yesterday and one the night before yesterday. So, these movies are something. And what the two movies are is Mortal Kombat from the year 1995 and Mortal Kombat Annihilation from the year 1997, I believe.
Oh, man.
So, Mortal Kombat, to tie into the video games, was a video game series that existed in the early 90s, I believe, and still to this day. I was a huge fan growing up playing Mortal Kombat. It's actually probably one of the very first games I ever played on the Sega Genesis, and period. It could be... No, I think Sonic is the first game I played, but Mortal Kombat is one of the first games that I played 100%. My stepdad, had all three of them, and I played them a lot as a kid, and then I even played them on the PlayStation with Mortal Kombat Trilogy. And then when that Mortal Kombat on the 360 came out a couple years ago with it was like the remake, I got that one too, and that was really fun. So back in 1995, with the success of the video game, they actually created a movie. And it's pretty cool, honestly. Like, a lot of people give it shit, but it's a pretty fun movie. It is PG-13 because they knew they had to capitalize on all those kids going out there to see the movies that were playing the games, even though the games... I think the Mortal Kombat games were partially responsible for the ESRB or whatever, the ratings board, video game ratings board, and yeah, so they're very controversial, so it was pretty interesting that they made a movie that was targeted towards kids. So basically it centers around Shang Tsung, who is like the villain, and basically there's a tournament called Mortal Kombat. And after you lose like 10 Mortal Kombats, the world basically like ends, or the bad guy can take over the world or whatever. So all the like best martial artists in the world are invited to this tournament where they are trying to defeat the evil and, you know, save the Earth. And you have like Liu Kang, Sonya Blade, Johnny Cage is like your protagonist, along with Princess Katana. And then your villains, you have like Sub-Zero and Scorpion and Kano and Goro, and of course Shang Tsung, as well as I think Reptile's in here too. And it's basically a martial arts flick, but it has a lot of.
No, don't.
Probably rolling her eyes.
I'm cringing. The cringe.
It does have a lot of like dark stuff to it. Like there's like Scorpion and Sub-Zero are definitely dark characters, and Goro is like a straight monster, dude. Like, you know what I mean? And like they're stealing souls and stuff. Like it's action oriented, but I think that it does walk the line of like horror. Like the games were even lumped in as horror games, like when you look at like horror game lists and stuff, because it's, you know, the fatalities and the blood and guts and ripping spines out and stuff. That doesn't happen so much in the movie, but there's definitely, you know, like I remember even as a kid back in '95 when I seen this, I was like 4 years old. I remember seeing Scorpion when his head turns into the skull and they like cut his head off and stuff like that. Used to scare me. So yeah, I do think that there's a little bit of horror up in here. You know?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I mean, the Flying Dutchman and SpongeBob, that's kind of scary. So can I just watch that entire like series and count that too?
No.
No? Okay. I thought that's how this worked. Just any little scary thing, right?
Okay. I will admit that Mortal Kombat is not horror, but
yeah,
I will say that it is like in the realm of. Like, if people like horror, they'll probably like Mortal Kombat too. Because it's dark and it has it's cool stuff, man. Damn it, man. I can't. It's so hard.
You're embarrassing yourself. Come on. I'll admit, I now accept thriller and science fiction into the like horror collection. Like I will put those on my shelves if I get them, but like. If you're talking about like fantasy action / martial arts, and the word isn't even in, like none of those words are even in it, I'm just like, I don't know.
According to IMDb, the genre is action, adventure, fantasy, sci-fi, thriller. So sci-fi and thriller help my case a little bit.
Are you sure? I swear I looked it up last night and it did not say all that.
Yes, it says those exactly. Those 5.
Okay, I guess.
So Mortal Kombat, I think that it's really cool. I'm a little bummed that they I kind of wish they would have branched out a little bit more and like incorporated more of the storyline from the games and stuff, and more of like how they do have a lot of the characters like Kano and Sub-Zero and Scorpion and stuff, but I feel like they didn't do all of the characters justice. And that, I don't know, Sonya Blade's kind of a lame character to me a little bit. I don't know, some of them are, a lot of them are actually kind of lame. It doesn't feel like they should be, the best martial artists. How the hell is Sonya Blade, this police officer, one of the best martial artists in the world? It seems ridiculous and silly. I don't know, Shang Tsung is very lame as a villain. He's way too much, mustache twirly, and not as sinister as he should be. He's kind of like a pussy, for lack of a better word, because he's trying to take all these easy way outs. And I know it's supposed to showcase the villain being snaky and cheating and stuff, but at the same time you have to have your villain threatening and the whole time you never feel you always feel he's scared of Liu Kang, so it's it kind of takes away the power a little bit. Goro was great, dude. I think that's one of the coolest things about this movie. Goro looks so good. It's way better than what you could do with CGI, and he's freaky, man. Goro is scary, and I love the mythology behind like Mortal Kombat. It has like tons of cool like hidden stuff that throughout the games and shit. Like what the hell is Goro? Like he's from like this subterranean, like he's like a prince of some subterranean like kingdom or something. It's pretty cool, but they do mention that in the movie, which is neat. It's pretty solid. I think I gave it about a 7 out of 10. So I really like Mortal Kombat from 95. Now Mortal Kombat Annihilation from 97. Whew, boy, this one is really dumb. Like it's like mind-numbingly dumb. Like there's so many characters and there's cool moments in it, and like there's so many characters in it that they don't have time to spend with each of the characters. Like I feel like there should be like some kind of director's cut or something that explains a little bit more. Like when Sonya finds like Jax, like it's like, okay, like why is she here? Like how did she get here? Like why is Jax there? How did she know Jax? It's like doesn't make sense. And this one just picks up right where the last one left, where like they broke. Now it features Shao Kahn as the villain, and he like broke the rules of Mortal Kombat and like merged the two worlds. So like there's these underground like hamster balls that like let you get anywhere in the world really fast. It's really dumb. And this one to me is just a very, very like step down in terms of just, it's just stupid. Like the movie just feels dumb. Like the characters do dumb things. Like they just sound really dumb. And I don't know, like Raiden's awful in this one. Like he was like a wise, like cool dude in the first one, but in this one he's like a dumbass. And I don't know, man. It's a weird one. I don't really like Mortal Kombat Annihilation. I did when I was a kid, but it just feels like it's wasted potential. So I only gave that one a 5. It's average.
Damn.
So those are my 2 streaming watches, which people are probably going to be like, "What the hell, dude? Why are you reviewing Mortal Kombat on your goddamn horror podcast?"
Yeah, what a disgrace. Yeah, so I have no idea what you watch.
Oh, what was he going to say?
I was just going to say I have no idea what you're talking about. I know nothing about Mortal Kombat, even the game. So
you never played Mortal Kombat?
No, I never did.
What in the hell?
So yeah, I just wanted to throw that out there.
So what did you watch? Did you watch something that was horror?
I mean, all I watched was The Devils. For one thing, it seems like if we're not like planning for a show, when I'm watching Netflix, I'm not watching horror. Like I'm watching like comedy crap.
It's because we're collectors.
Yeah, like I like to get my collection knocked off and fill my shelves more than like just look it up online. But anyway, I did watch The Devils, which was on Shudder, and now we had planned to watch this. Yeah, but
because this is Ken Russell's film, and the reason this was significant, I think we talked about this in an early episode, is this was the first release of like the most uncut version of the film that exists. It's like the closest to like the director's cut or whatever, because apparently it was always cut in its previous releases. So
yeah,
just throw that out there.
Interestingly enough, the genres have it as biography, drama, and history. It doesn't even say anything horror like on here. Yeah, but like it actually is. Yeah. Anyway, I'll just read the synopsis off of IMDb real quick, and it is: in 17th century France, Father Grandeur seeks to protect the city of Loudun from the corrupt establishment of Cardinal Richelieu. I don't know how to say that. Hysteria occurs within the city when he is accused of witchcraft by a sexually repressed nun.
Damn it, this was nunsploitation and I missed it.
Yeah, honestly, you probably would have been better to review this one than me, because like I don't really like movies set like 17th century France and like the olden times. Like I just can't really get into them.
You don't like period pieces.
Yeah, that's the word I was looking for. Yeah, this one took me like a couple days to watch. It's a pretty long movie for one thing. It's like 112 minutes, and I'm not really big on really long movies either, unless they're like something I'm really, really interested in. But I mean, for what it was, like it had some like shocking moments, like with the nuns and things like that. And it actually stars Oliver Reed from Burnt Offerings, and I didn't realize that until like halfway through, because he's got like a beard in this movie. So I thought that was pretty cool, because I've never seen him in anything else, and Burnt Offerings is one of my favorite horror movies. But yeah, I really don't know much of what to say about this movie. It was kind of hard.
What's happening in it?
Like, basically, this grandeur guy is like, you know, a minister, and like he's doing kind of like corrupt things. And then there's like a nun. She's like a hunchback. Like, she had really bad scoliosis, so she like. No, I mean, I don't know. Like, I don't look at that when I'm watching these movies. I'm a girl. She like has a hunchback. Like, she's like leaned. It's kind of creepy actually. Like when she walks, but and she has like these sexual fantasies about this minister, and she wants him to become like the new person for their church, because she likes him basically. But then they end up sending some other guy over, and the guy marries or the minister like marries some other chick, and then the nun's like all pissed off, and then like basically the minister gets accused of witchcraft, and shit like gets out of control. And I mean, I don't want to say. So
does anything crazy happen in the movie?
Yeah, like they're doing like a exorcist type deal with the nun with the hunchback, because they find out like they think like she convinces them that the minister is making her be sexually attracted to him, because obviously she's a nun and that's not supposed to be happening. She's not supposed to be thinking those thoughts. So she kind of like throws him under the bus, and then like they're trying to like do an exorcism on her, and then like all the other nuns start like going crazy and all this crazy stuff. I mean, I watched this like I don't even remember when I last watched this, so it's kind of fuzzy in my memory. But hold on, let me look up I don't even remember what I rated this one. Sorry guys, I suck. Yeah, I gave it a 6 out of 10 for what it was, but like I'm sure other people would appreciate this one a lot more than me. It just really wasn't my taste in film. You know what I'm saying?
I guess I do.
You guess, or you know?
I don't know. It doesn't sound that cool to me. Like, I thought it was gonna be like crazy and like all kind of nuts stuff happening, and
it's crazy for like I guess like the religious like aspects of it, like nuns going like nuts and doing like nun like things and stuff like that.
That's what's the best thing ever. I love nunsploitation because of that reason. Because like nuns are supposed to be these holy people who don't like do anything bad, and then all of a sudden they're like having sex and fantasizing,
and I'm not like
masturbating and stuff.
I'm not saying like everything that happened either. Like, I'm just saying, like, I'm not gonna go into detail about the crazy like things, because if you want to watch it, like, I don't want to just give away every little detail. So it is like I'm probably describing it poorly, but it was a little bit crazy in some parts.
Okay, so only a 6 out of 10, huh?
Yeah, for me anyway.
All right, well, I might get back to you on that one. Maybe I'll watch it for the next show. And give my opinions on it. There's so many Shudder exclusives out right now that I want to get to. Like, they have Ghostwatch up on there, which is pretty cool because that never had a release and stuff. And they just got a new flick called Always Shine, I think. And there's a bunch of cool like little exclusives out there right now. And I think Netflix just got some new horror films too. So like, there's so much stuff that I want to cover.
Yeah.
Still. Yeah. So. Yeah, we'll get to that. But one of the Shudder exclusives that we decided to cover now is We Are the Flesh, from the year 2016, but got its official release in 2017. It did have a festival circuit in 2016. It made a few top 10 lists. I do remember it being of note, and I wanted to see it because everybody who talked about it just kept talking about how like crazy it was. So I decided to pick, with my pick, We Are the Flesh. And this film is directed and written by Emiliano Rocha Minter. Sound right?
Yeah.
All right.
We're always nailing it with the pronunciations on this show.
It is a Mexico/France co-production, and it is, of course, spoken in the Spanish language. And this movie had a $400,000 budget, and it has a runtime of 79 minutes. So, you want to read that IMDb description, or should I?
You should. I had it pulled up. I mean, I had the Shudder description pulled up instead. I don't know what I was thinking. I mean,
after wandering a ruined city for years in search of food and shelter, two siblings find their way into one of the last remaining buildings. Inside, they find a man who will make them a dangerous offer to survive the outside world. So, that's an interesting description. I actually didn't watch this on Shudder. I actually do own a Blu-ray copy of it, thanks to Arrow Video. But I do know that it is streaming on Shudder, and it is a Shudder exclusive, which is where you watched it, correct?
Yes, correct.
And what did you know about We Are the Flesh?
Once again, nothing. I try to go in blind with the ones that were gonna be like the featured reviews that we do, just to be like surprised by it. I mean, I did read the synopsis. Whenever it's your pick, I do tend to read the synopsis. So besides that, that's all I really knew about it.
Yeah, I knew a little bit because I did hear people talk about it during the end of the year shows. Like I think the first time I heard about it was on Shockwave's Top 10 of 2016 show, because they do include festival circuit films, which we do not. So this is actually technically eligible for 2017, which is pretty cool. We Are the Flesh. It's a very, very odd movie. It starts off with this guy in like a dilapidated building in which he's making like gasoline, and then he sends it under this like wall with like a kite string, which is I think that's what they call it in prison. It's like a system in which you like pull things across the room with like strings, and I think that's kind of what he was doing through the wall there. And then he gets sent. What does he get sent back? Like eggs or something?
Yeah, it's some sort of weird thing. That whole beginning was so, like, right off the bat, it was just so, like, what the heck is happening?
Mm-hmm. So your first impressions are, okay, like, he's in some sort of post-apocalyptic setting where there is, like, you know, just this dystopian future, or at least we assume it's, like, the future. And basically in comes two I would say teenagers.
Yeah, they're supposed to be, I think, pretty young teenagers.
Yeah, so they find their way into this building in which this guy sort of allows them to stay with him, and they begin constructing sort of like a cocoon almost. It's like a cocoon made out of like desks and like, you know, chairs and different wooden objects that's thrown throughout the building.
They're just like taping it all together with like duct tape.
It's like one of those weird things where it's like, if you look at it logically, like, okay, where would they get this massive amount of tape? You know what I mean? Like, you would need to be in a tape factory to be able to have this much like Scotch tape. And but it's one of those things where you just like, okay, like I think you just accept that they have tape for some reason.
Yeah, no questions.
And they start building this like cocoon like structure out of this tape and wood. And to me, I'm not sure about you, but to me it reminded me of a womb.
Yeah, I got that vibe. I don't know if the cover of the movie looks like it's supposed to be like the womb too, or like the inside of a body.
Yeah, so there is that, like, and there is, I think, like, there's a lot of, like, subtextual stuff involving that, especially the very end of the film. Without spoiling anything, I think there's multiple ways you can take it, but I kind of took it like it's kind of exiting a womb as well.
Yeah.
Into, like, the real world. And, like, the daylight and stuff, like, I don't know what that means, though, because this movie, if it doesn't sound weird yet, it gets very more weird.
Oh, man.
And basically, from what I'm getting out of it, is this guy is, like, just some sort of, like, demented, like, lunatic, like, just disgusting pervert who is, like, just down to just be, like, as fucked up as possible.
Yeah, he don't care.
And he basically convinces the two teenagers who we find out are brother and sister.
Yeah.
To have sex. It's an incestual relationship. And I think I made the joke before on here that I love things that have incest.
yeah, I think that's been brought up multiple times, actually.
Just because it makes me cringe so much, you know what I mean?
Yeah, I was so gross. Like, I had, like, a face of just pure cringe for, like, a solid, like, 20 minutes, I swear, throughout this whole film.
And this film actually features completely unsimulated sex. So there's actual sex going on in this film, blowjobs, like vagina eating, I'm pretty sure you even see, like, full-blown intercourse.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure you've seen a lot of crazy shit in your time, but, like, this is the most, like, porno-looking horror movie I've ever watched, where, like, you just see everything.
Have you ever seen a movie that had non-simulated sex in it?
Not that I know of.
That's
like,
not
I might have.
Porn.
Yeah, I mean, like, not that I really can think of, unless, like, there was, and it just wasn't as obvious as this movie is being. But yeah, this movie was pretty, like, in your face with that.
Mm-hmm. So the girl in the film, do you know her name?
Oh, God. I can't... Wait. No, I don't remember any of their names, actually.
Was it Maria?
I thought it was something weird.
Yeah, I can't remember.
I'm trying to look it up.
On IMDb. It doesn't even say.
No, it might have been Maria. I don't know. No, it doesn't even have a name for them when you look it up.
Brother and sister, huh? So, the chick seems to be, like, way more down with what's happening than the guy.
Yeah, definitely.
The guy's, like, kind of, like, freaked out by it, and, like, what's the name of the guy that they're living with?
It says Mariano.
Yeah, I think that is him, actually. Yeah.
I don't remember there even being... I don't remember, like, any names being said in the actual movie. That's why I'm, like, confused. Yeah. I thought it was, like, boy number 1, girl number 2 type deal.
Yeah, so Mariano, he's, like, this sadistic fuck who's, like, manipulating them into doing these things. And then he just dies.
Yeah, that was kind of shocking, because it was one of those things where, like, you figure he's going to be a main point in the whole movie, and then, like, halfway through, he's, like, gone, and I'm like, oh, what happens now?
And then they just, like, stick his body, like in a side room, and they just leave it there. And, I mean, what comes next is just shocking scene after shocking scene, just, like, sexual nature. There's one scene where the sister, like, literally, like, periods on the brother's face. Like, she stands above him and says, open your mouth.
How'd you feel about that?
It's like the gaggable thing ever.
Yeah.
It's so disgusting. How did you feel about that?
I thought it was disgusting, but I immediately thought about you watching it and how upset you were probably feeling. Because I know how you be with the period bloods.
Oh, yeah. I always make the joke where I'm like, why the hell do you guys have periods? Just stop doing it.
Yeah, it's hilarious. I laugh every time.
So this is one of those films where it is clearly an art house film, very pretentious, some people might say. Style over substance. There's not a lot of explanation into what's going on. And I believe I've brought this up on the podcast before, that I'm okay with all that as long as I think that the director or the writer has ideas to what is going on in their head. They know what they're trying to symbolize. They know what they're trying to be metaphorical about. They know what the underarching thing is going on in this film. Do you feel that is the case with this one, or do you think it is shock value for shock value, random scene for random scenes, no purpose or direction, just I'm going to throw a bunch of shit at the wall and see what sticks?
With this particular movie, I did kind of get the shock value vibe. Like, from the first half up until the guy died, like, I kind of felt like there was sort of a story being pieced together, but then, like, the second half, like, I literally could not make a story or, like, plot out of anything that was going on. So, I don't know, I just felt, I didn't really think he was doing much but, like, shocking stuff.
One of the things that I interpreted from the film, and I can be completely off base, but my theory on what is going on is drug culture related. Like, I feel like these are two, like, teenage junkies who, like, found this other junkie, and he has, like, some sort of drug that is probably some sort of psychedelic drug. And because he does have like a dropper, right?
Yeah. I forgot about that.
So he has this dropper, and he's like dropping things into his mouth or whatever. And I believe both of the other two use the dropper as well.
Yeah.
So I start to think that this could be some sort of street drug that is new, or some sort of street drug that is like from like a futuristic type thing, like the new drug, and this could be set partially into the future, and all of this is just the product of this wild hallucinations and this active substance, and this, like, because it gets very, like, the film even has like a cannibalistic orgy in the late parts of the film, and it's really the only logical way to explain some of the things that are happening, that it's like, oh, it's just an acid trip, like there is just it is just all hallucinogenic type of scenes,
yeah I feel you on that.
It has like Argento style lighting where there's no logical place where this pink color could be coming from. Like there's no neon sign in the distance or anything like that.
Yeah.
It's not existent in the real world. There's no object that we see that delivers this light. So it's purely for a cinematic feel, which if you do take it logically, then you assume that it has to be some sort of like tripping that's going on. So that's the one connection that I was able to make with the film, that it could be about that.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I didn't really get the vibe that like they were all just a bunch of junkies though, like the kids at least. I kind of just thought like they were living in a time period where the outside world was destroyed and they like desperately needed shelter, and then they found like this guy who was just kind of like fucked up in the head, but like they needed a place to stay, so they started hanging with him. And then like the dropper does make sense though, that like like they might have been under like psychedelic drugs, but I didn't think they were like going there for like that reason, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. And I'm with you too, until the end of the film.
Yeah, see, the ending of the film, I got kind of confused about what was happening. I was like, what?
I totally think that the end of the film, without saying anything or spoiling anything, I think that it adds to my theory, actually.
Yeah.
Because what kind of... it's hard to say anything.
Yeah, I know. I understand.
But I think it definitely adds to my theory. And I think that there are a lot of things in this film that are like acting on thoughts. Like I feel like a lot of what's happening could be like metaphorical because you're seeing it in a psychedelic way, but what's happening actually could be something very simple, but it's heightened in this psychedelic visual sense. There was flashes of scenes that involved like a child. Did you see that?
I'm trying to remember.
There's like a kid, like a
like
child,
was it
like a little girl, like and I
like a little.
Yeah.
Yeah, I do remember. Yeah. I know what you're talking about.
Was that suggesting that like that she was like molested or something? Like I was trying to figure that out.
I don't know. I kind of got that. Yeah, I could kind of see that vibe too. I really was. I'm not too sure, but I do remember what you're talking about. But yeah, I feel like that might have been what they were trying to imply.
Yeah.
But
yeah, it's definitely a very odd movie. I personally really actually liked it a lot.
I liked like the guy. Like I thought the guy was really creepy. Like he actually kind of his appearance like reminded me of like Charles Manson or something like that. And I don't know. I like the beginning parts, and I like the shocking parts just because they do successfully make me cringe. But I did have trouble finding the story. Like I couldn't understand what was happening a lot of the time. But your theory about the drugs does make sense to me. Like it could have been all psychedelic stuff going on. Mm-hmm. So I mean, overall, like it was a memorable movie. Like I'll give it that. Just not like, I don't know, storylines like that confuse me.
Yeah, I mean, they're supposed to, obviously. It's one of those things where, like, the viewer is supposed to take what they're seeing and then have their own interpretation of what that is.
Yeah, and
now,
you're
the only problem that happens when you do that is that if there is no deeper meaning or there is nothing that the director actually intended on you to pick up on, then it becomes all for naught and pointless and stupid. I do believe that the director had things to say in this film, and I do believe that even if my theory, and it's just one theory that I have, I've thought about this film a lot, and I've thought about other things that it could mean. I definitely see themes of pregnancies and wombs and born again and born period going on in this, like the period and the way that they're building like the cocoon, which is like obviously reminiscent of a woman's womb. The cover of the poster is involving that. There's this relationship between siblings. There is this it's almost like the antagonist is reborn, dealing with birth. Like I definitely think there's stuff there, and then there's all this sex that's in there too, and this perversion that I feel like that means stuff. But I also think that the and there's actually a lot of dialogue that's talking about, I can't remember exactly, it's talking about like letting your mind go. And if we did, and we acted on all of our thoughts and truly like was free of holding back our thoughts and things like that, that makes me think that this is a projection of the subconscious during a like heavy dose of hallucinogenics or something like that, where we're seeing what they're seeing along with what's actually being done, like in the real world. Like it's kind of a cool blend there. I feel like it's just a bunch of all of that in a blender, and it's like, here, check it, like think of what you can, like interpret this how you will. Like, so that's why I did kind of really like it. And I actually was a little bit lower on it at first.
Yeah.
And I've actually come up, because even after it being a couple weeks since I've watched this, I still have been thinking about it from time to time. So to me, that's the most important thing when you're coming in on a film. And I very much enjoyed it. I actually really like the end too, because it turns this ending. I would say that it is a twist ending, and I tried to avoid reading and hearing things about this film, but one thing that I did see was somebody saying how there's multiple types of twist endings. There is like soft twists, which is just a turn in the direction in which the film's going. There's hard twists that are like M. Night Shyamalan twists, and then there are deep twists, which makes you reinterpret how the entire movie was, and your entire it makes you rethink your interpretation of the entire movie, which is what this film has. So I think that's kind of interesting. And I don't know, do you have any other like anything else you want to say about it, like specific scenes or anything that you thought were crazy or anything like that?
I don't know. Like, all I can say is fuck you, because you always have these great like interpretations of these movies, I feel like, and then like I'm just here like, I don't understand what happened. Like, you always come up with these great like ideas that make the movie sound so much better than what it was when I was watching it. And like, I don't know, like I just found it too confusing. Like, some movies I can piece everything together, but after like the second, like when the second like half of it started, like I kind of just was like, I felt like I was just watching scenes of like pornographic, incestual period,
which is awesome.
Fuck off. But
no, look, I'll give you a little tip. When you're watching a movie and you can tell it's one of those movies where it's like, oh, like I'm supposed to figure all this out for myself. Yeah. Like, look at a scene and say to yourself, what is that? What are they doing? What could that mean? Could that mean anything else than what it is literal? You know, the literal meaning of two people rolling on the floor? Or could that be something else? You know what I mean? Yeah. And that's where you kind of open your mind to these different interpretations. And it helps if you do it while watching the film. But this is a movie that if you probably go back and watch again while thinking of some of these things, you might catch more things or notice different things. So I think that it's a pretty solid flick. But do you want to go into ratings now?
Yeah, I mean, like, I did like the shock value stuff, as I said before. I thought the dude was creepy. Like, once you re-explain, like, your theory about it, like, that always kind of bumps my rating if you can come up with, like, a solid story. Because originally I just thought, like, it was just for, like, the shock purposes. But, I mean, if the guy did have a purpose for this movie, then I gotta give him credit for that, to make you think. But I'm just one of those people who has trouble looking into deeper meanings, I guess. Maybe I should start rewatching movies so I can like go back and see things I missed. But anyway, I mean, I did give it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay, so I initially was at a 7 out of 10. But the more
you were like, you said you made it sound like you went so low. I thought you were gonna say like a 4. Okay, but go on.
No, so. And then I started thinking about the film, and after talking about the film and it being on my mind for a while, I realized that any movie that makes me think that much about it, I love those type of movies. And so a lot of people, I feel like, who don't like this movie are instantly going to go to like, oh, like it's pretentious and it's like this and that, and the only reason you like it is because of all this shock value and stuff. But I actually do think there's a lot of like thought-provoking things in this film, and I actually do like the shock value. Okay, like I'm down with seeing some crazy shit, because like anything that makes me feel something. Like, I feel uncomfortable when I see a brother and sister have sex. I feel uncomfortable when I see like period blood dripping onto this dude's face. Like that makes me like so sick. And to me, like, okay, yeah, you don't have to have that in every movie, and I'd be very mad if it was in every movie, but every once in a while that stuff is going to be something cool to see, you know what I mean? Like, and honestly, I like the gritty setting. Like, I liked the gritty post-apocalyptic looking building that they're in. Like, I like the cocoon, like, cave dwelling thing that's going on. Like, I like the blood orgy at the end. Like, I like all that stuff, and I like the ending. And most importantly, I like that it made me think a lot. And I do think that there are answers to some of the things that I have. And I feel like if I watched it again, I would expand on these feelings and theories, and I probably would understand the film. If not completely, you know, definitely more than I did on first watch. So I'm coming in with a very strong 8.5 out of 10.
Damn.
Yes. So I went from a 7 to a 1.5 higher.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. I am crazy.
Yeah, I mean, shows two different type of people here. Sometimes I'm just like not in the mood to like think while I'm watching a movie, I guess. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like,
I do know what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I just have trouble searching for those deeper meanings.
Well, you know what it actually comes down to? If you look at the film and you don't feel like thinking, and what that means is if you take a step back and really analyze the whole situation and the outcome, and you look at the predetermined thoughts and the post-determined thoughts, and what it all comes down to when you look away is that you're dumb as fuck.
I literally knew that you were coming to that conclusion. Like, your jokes are getting so worn out. Like, you beat them to death. Like, just give it a rest.
No. That was a good joke.
No. Like, I knew, like, it was gonna... Like, I was gonna call myself dumb as fuck to get it over with. But you, of course, I had to let you take over.
You know what, dude? One thing that we didn't even talk about is we went on a adventure last week.
Yeah, I did want to talk about that.
Well, why don't you bring these things up?
I didn't know if we should talk about it at the beginning, and then you were talking about your Mortal Kombat bullshit, so I was like, when
we're doing pre-show and we're discussing what we're going to talk about, you could have been like, oh, I know one thing that we can talk about. We can talk about this.
I thought you were just talking about, like, whatever. We went on an adventure to a drive-in that was all night, and it was 2 nights, and it was awesome.
Yeah, it was really awesome. So night 1 was which films, Carly?
First up was Texas Chainsaw Massacre 2.
What did you think of that?
That was pretty cool, but I have to say, like, that night was kind of disappointing because it rained the whole time, and I felt like I didn't...
It started raining when, like, 10 minutes into Chainsaw 2.
Yeah, so, like, and you said it too, like, the point of going to see movies like that is that you're watching them you're watching them in a drive-in. It's not like you're watching a brand new movie there. It's like the experience is supposed to mean something, and that kind of, like, I felt like that kind of took away from it, but I mean, it was still cool. And then next up was Motel Hell, and I didn't really care for that movie. How do you feel about that movie?
Okay, so the Chainsaw 2 I absolutely love. These are all 35mm prints, by the way, and Chainsaw 2 looked great on film. You know, that's an honor to be able to see a film like that on film, because film is a lost. It's dying. It's gone. Everything's digital now. So you know, chances of seeing film are on these little oddity nights like this. So to see Chainsaw 2 on film, which is one of my favorite films, definitely one of my favorite sequels, is truly awesome. And I've always loved Chainsaw 2. I actually give Chainsaw 2 an 8.5 out of 10. What would you rate Chainsaw 2?
I believe I gave it an 8 out of 10. Okay.
And Motel Hell, that was actually probably the film I was looking forward to the least out of all the films. I don't like Motel Hell, and I never have. People love it. It actually, when I got home after this 2-day event, I looked over at my wall with the Motel Hell poster, and I was like, you know what? You're coming down. I'm replacing you with something else.
Yeah, that's phony.
Because, like, I like the poster.
Yeah.
And the only reason I hung that one up versus, like, Pumpkinhead or something like that is because I did it at random. I had all of the Scream Factory posters I owned in a stack, and I just pulled one out. And, like, that's how I've been putting all of them up. I just do them at random.
Yeah.
But, yeah, that one's coming down. I'm going to put something else in its place because I'm just not a fan of the movie. I think it's kind of boring. I don't find it funny.
Yeah, I found it way too goofy. Like, I didn't... Like, when you said it's got, like, comedy elements, I didn't think it was just going to be straight up, like, the whole movie's kind of like that.
Yeah, it's really silly. I've just never liked Motel Hell from the very first time that I watched it. And I only give that a 6 out of 10.
Mm-hmm. I think I gave it, like, the same rating. But
after that, it was, good?
I Drink Your Blood.
From 1970.
Yeah. How'd you feel?
Well, I gotta say... this one, you have a kid who kills a rabid dog and sucks its blood out and puts it in meat pies for the hippies that are staying in the area, and they turn into rabid hippies.
Yeah.
I actually really like this one. I did fall asleep I nodded off a few times, I'm not gonna lie. But from what I was seeing, I really enjoyed it. What about you?
Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. Like, it was really gross. Like, how, like, the kid injects these meat pies with the blood.
Meat pies sound gross.
Yeah, I was going to say that. That's what I was going to say. Like, the meat pies in general are gross-looking food, and then they're eating them with blood in them. And then, like, there's this huge-ass scene of them just eating it and making these stupid fucking chewing noises. And, like, it's the most annoying sound in the world to me.
Yeah, I hate
Like, I literally wanted to leave.
Chewing noises.
Excuse me?
I said, yeah, I hate people that make annoying chewing noises.
Listen, don't even talk. Like, I want to kill you so much all the time when you eat.
So, what did you give I Drink Your Blood?
I'll look it up right now. I had it written down.
I gave it a 7.5 out of 10. Pretty solid watch. I want to pick up the Grindhouse releasing Blu-ray version. That's a pretty cool release, and I definitely want to scoop that up.
I gave it a 7 out of 10.
Huh. Alright, so not too much different. And then the final film was what?
Deranged.
1974. This is a film that's based on Ed Gein. What did you think of Mr. Ezra Cobb in Deranged?
I thought it was pretty cool. Like, he did a good job of being, like, you know, a normal dude that no one suspects of anything, even if he's being obvious that he's crazy. Like, they're just like, oh, he's just a normal dude over there. Like, he wouldn't harm a fly. And, yeah, I'd never seen this movie before, and I like how it really is, like, the story of that guy. So it's almost like they combine Psycho and Texas Chainsaw and put it all into one movie and make a true story out of Ed Gein. So I thought it was pretty cool. I gave it a 7.5.
Ed Gein is my second favorite serial killer, right behind Jeffrey Dahmer.
Yeah.
Ed Gein is really interesting. He didn't kill a whole lot of people. He was just like an old dude who like had a little bit of mommy issues and stuff like that. I really like how they put this film together, and it has that like sleazy grindhouse like 70s feel too.
Yeah.
So I really like that. I I've always liked this movie, but this was a highlight for me of night number 1. I give it an 8 out of 10. So after that, we actually drove back to a hotel. Did I drive back? I drove back, huh?
You did. Good for you.
It was like 40 minutes. It was like 30 or 40 minutes away from the drive-in, but it was still faster than the hour and 25 minutes back home. Plus, we got a discount at the hotel because we work at a hotel.
Yeah.
And man, dude, I gotta say, that hotel was lame as hell. Like, it's the same brand of hotel that we work at, and we are so much better than them.
Yeah. Like, it was nicely designed, but, like, you just got the vibe that no one knew what they were doing who worked there or cared as much.
Yeah, like, your bed had a blood stain in it.
I don't think it was blood. I think it was probably just, like, you know...
red plus stain in bed.
No, it was... Anyway, that wasn't fair, because you kind of, like, just... claimed that to be my bed.
Yeah, I called dibs on the other one.
No, you called no dibs. You were just like, oh, I found the blood-stained bed first, so that gets to be yours.
It was funny because I looked over and you were like sleeping like on the very edge. Because like one of the things
I was so pissed.
We're not really allowed to complain. Like she could have asked for a new duvet, but you know, because we get this discount, like, we know the ins and outs of how hotels work, so we're not really allowed to cause a fuss about something. Yeah. But, you know, you could have asked for a different one, but you decided to just use the sheet.
Putting those on takes up time, and I just wanted to sleep. Like, I didn't want to do work, like, at a freaking hotel when I'm on, like, a little mini vacation.
And their hotel sucked, like, in terms of the channels on the TV. Like, they had, like, 70 channels, and they were all garbage. I ended up watching Forensic Files.
And there were straight up boogers on the shower curtain.
Yeah, that was that. I didn't even use the shower curtain. I just let the water fall all over the floor, and I was like, I don't give a fuck. There shouldn't be boogers all over my shower curtain then. So we woke up the next morning. We actually stupidly did that, by the way. We woke up at like 11 after going to sleep at like 7.
Yeah.
I didn't realize how little hours we actually slept.
Yeah,
it was like 4 hours.
Yeah. And you were like, well, we're up now. Might as well explore this nice town that we're in. Yeah, so we did float around. And I wish you didn't get sick, because there was actually a lot of cool stuff to explore. There was all these, like, pawn shops and different things. And we bought some, like, there was all these VHS everywhere, like Carrie and stuff. We didn't buy any of it. Like, we bought a couple DVDs. I just think that the morale was down. It was also kind of rain. It started thunderstorming and stuff. So that was a little sucky. Yeah. Yeah. But... I'm sorry that I ruined your time. No, the time wasn't ruined. It's just like, you got to admit that I think the rain really set the tone, right? Like it was like that ruined my whole day. Like, I thought I was going to do that all night again, and I was going to cry. Yeah, but we made bad choices. Like, we went and ate Chinese, which was dumb. We didn't bring a cooler originally, so we had all these depressing drinks that were warm. They were, like, hot at a certain point. Yeah, we totally went in ill-prepared. We had, like, crappy $6 chairs. I bought those chairs. They were really uncomfortable. I bought the one for you! That's bullshit! And then we went to night 2. I do want to go back to that town next year. Maybe. I don't know if we can find a hotel closer to the drive-in. It's actually not even next year. It's 5 months from now that we'll be doing this again. You know what's interesting? That's actually, like, one of the most dangerous towns, apparently, like, in this, like, state. Really? Yeah, Robin, like, pointed it out, and then, like, I looked on the internet the next day, I saw, like, a list of onlyinyourstate.com, and, like, it was, like, on this, like, top 10 list, and I was like, geez, it's such a, like, quiet area. Yeah, that's crazy, because I walk around like I'm the hardest dude out there, too, you know what I mean? Right, yeah. Mm-hmm. Nothing. That shit doesn't faze me, dog. But no, I didn't feel uncomfortable or anything like that. Yeah, me neither. We were just walking around like the main street of the town, like checking out these pawn shops and shit. Yeah. But yeah, I mean, their mall was weak. Like, it was fun. Like, it is neat to explore like a different area and things like that.
But then we ended up back for day 2 of the drive-in, and there's this guy next to us. He drove all the way from New Jersey, which was like 6 hours. And we parked next to him both days, and he like stayed there. Like he didn't go to a hotel or anything. Like he slept in his car and stuff, and like it just seemed miserable, but he was like pretty happy to do it.
Yeah, he was like, I think he said he was friends with the guy who runs the show there.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
and he was all alone too. He said he brings his family, but they couldn't come this year, so that's dedication.
Yeah, yes. I felt bad that he had to drive 6 hours back, you know?
Yeah, me too.
But anyway, so we start, and when we get there, I feel awful. Like I don't feel good. I'm hot, and like it's like really humid because it had rained there. But the sun was shining real hard, so it was like I was really uncomfortable. I changed into a white shirt and shorts, which by the way, there's like nowhere to change in there, and because like the bathroom is disgusting, and like, you know, and you don't want to like insult somebody by like just stripping down when there's like a few kids around and stuff. So it's like really hard to find a place to change. Anyway, I started feeling a little bit better, and then Child's Play started, and it instantly made me happy. Like that was my favorite experience of the whole night. I really like I guess noticed how amazing Child's Play is.
Yeah, that was my favorite movie too. And like you even said like you forgot that it ends with that like still frame of the little boy just looking back, and like I forgot that too, and for some reason that actually like gave me chills. Like still frames like that are kind of creepy to me, and like it wasn't raining at all, so the quality was really good. So I really loved seeing that movie. That was like a perfect movie to see in a drive-in.
Yeah, and it actually was like the perfect atmosphere too, because the movie's set around like Christmas technically.
Yeah.
Like it's in Chicago, so it's really cold and stuff. And it was also very breezy and cold outside where we was at. So it like to me like that was the perfect film to watch during then. Oddly enough, Child's Play 2 had actually was supposed to be set on Christmas, but they decided against it last minute.
Huh, I didn't know that.
Yeah. So I loved that experience, and it made me like appreciate Child's Play so much more. Like the movie is scary, it's played straightforward, it's like mysterious, and it's just a good movie, and the climax is really cool too. And I give Child's Play a 9 out of 10.
Me too, actually. 9 out of 10.
Yeah, I could even come up a little bit higher maybe, like, but I loved it. It was so good. And after that, we watched Black Christmas, 1974. This actually had the worst print out of all of them. Child's Play print was great, by the way, but this had the worst print.
I actually liked that it was a terrible print because I felt like they were all so perfect that it almost didn't feel like you were watching these old ass movies. But like, and I've only seen Black Christmas once before, and I liked it at the time, but like I felt like I needed to give it a rewatch to really appreciate it, and that was probably my second favorite experience because like it's got another one of those endings that gave me chills. So
yeah, that's
cool.
That's one of Moods' favorite endings of all time. It's actually really neat because Black Christmas, I feel like if you watch it, like the first time you see it, you might just find it boring. You have to be in a mood to watch Black Christmas. If you're in a mood, it could come off really scary and like really
I would agree.
Creepy and like just a cool movie. Black Christmas is a classic for a reason. It's considered one of the very first slashers. It's predates Halloween. It's definitely an influence for John Carpenter. I like the movie. It didn't have like as much of a Christmas vibe to me, unfortunately. But I will say that like I didn't like the print being orange like that. It kind of took me out of it a little bit. I'm glad you liked it. That print is not a great print, and that actually is similar to the print that Halloween. It has like the same like orange effect over it that from being aged or whatever, that when I seen Halloween at that same drive-in, that had. So I didn't love the print, but I still came in at an 8.5 out of 10 on Black Christmas.
I think I actually came in with the same rating.
Yeah.
As well on that one, yeah.
And then there technically are 2 more movies, but we only stayed for one more, which was Madman from 1980. Or 82 rather. 1982. Yeah. And you'd never seen Madman or Madman Mars before, right?
No, I had not.
What did you think?
I really liked it. I will say, like, the characters are probably, like, the victims being hunted down are probably, like, the lamest group of characters I've ever seen in a slasher movie. Like, I hated all of them. But the killer, like, I thought was probably the creepiest. Like, slashers don't really creep me out. They're more fun for me. And I was actually creeped out by this movie. So I really, cool. Yeah, and the atmosphere was cool too. It was, like, dark a lot of the movie. Like, it's like, honestly, in the woods.
The best way to see this movie is probably the way you've seen it at a drive-in, because if you see it at home, it's just a little, it's like, I guess it helps that you've seen it in the drive-in, because you don't care as much about, like, the time that you're wasting watching it on DVD, because it's kind of like a basic slasher, but to see it for the first time at a drive-in, it kind of adds, like, another, like, quality to it.
Yeah, I understand that.
You have actual atmosphere where you're at. You're out, and it's kind of like in the woods, even, you know. Like,
yeah. That's what creeped me out. And it was like the last one we watched before driving back, and I was like, "Oh, this is spooky."
Yeah. Madman Mars is kind of creepy too, but I don't really like Madman that much. It's okay, but I'm not a huge fan. What did you rate it?
I gave that one an 8. That might be a little bit of a high rating, but I mean, like you said, my experience was good.
Madman an 8. But
wait, what'd you say?
I said you might be the only person in the world that's rated Madman.
I probably got a little happy there. Like,
well, that's good though. That's cool that you liked it that much.
I see what you're saying. How, like, if I watched that at home, I would probably be very annoyed by, like, wasting my time, because, like, I did not like the characters that much, but the experience was pretty cool.
So the last one that, I gave it a 6.5 out of 10. And the last film that was shown was Trick or Treat from 1986. Had I never seen it, I probably would have stuck it out. But I literally watched Trick or Treat last October for the 22 Shots show. So it was so fresh in my head. I really didn't. I was so tired from that not much sleep. I was already falling asleep in Madman, and we had like an hour and a half drive ahead of us. Plus, once we finished that drive, I actually had like a 25-minute drive clear back to my house. So it was like, it was going to take me like 2 hours before I got to go to sleep. So I was just like, I think we did well. We did well because we watched 7 of the 8 films, which is pretty impressive.
Mm-hmm. That second night was so much better, in my opinion.
I know. I pray to God. At least we know in September it won't rain. But unfortunately, they show so many like bad movies in September. They're more about like they're like 50s and 60s like B movies. Like,
not even good. Yeah.
But I did hear that they might be doing like a little bit better, because one of the films that they're doing apparently is like, I seen they posted on the Facebook page, is one of the most influential sci-fi films of the 50s. So I'm thinking it could be like Invasion of the Body Snatchers or like Them or something, which both of those movies are really good.
Yeah, that'd be cool to see.
Yeah, so I'm hoping that it's like a 50s, 60s like sci-fi extravaganza or something like that,
Yeah, I wouldn't mind that, actually. I'd actually want to sit through that.
And next year, hopefully, I'm going to get an interview with the guy that puts it all together, because he said that he would. So that's cool. That's cool. And so that was our experience. I had fun, even though like at the time you're kind of miserable at certain points. Like looking back on it, I always think that I had a blast, because you only remember the shit that's cool. You don't remember the stuff that sucked.
Yeah. Like there was a lot of cool stuff going on. Like, I figured we were going to have some bad times since that was the first time we went for, like, both nights, too. And I was, like, a big, like, I knew it's kind of one of those weird things where it's, like, we stay up all night, both nights, so, and we didn't sleep enough. So, of course, we're going to be a little bit miserable. But, yeah, especially since the last night was so good, like, it kind of eliminated all the bad memories.
Yeah, and you know what? Next year we'll go more prepared. Every year it seems like we're going a little bit more prepared. So this will actually be the 4th time. In September, it'll be the 4th time that we've done this.
Yeah.
But it'll be my 5th time. Because I went one time before I knew you.
Yeah.
So really excited, really excited to do that in September. I like, and you know what? I think that we're gonna start hitting the theater more. We've already missed like so much that I think we need to get back on track because last year we went real hard.
Yeah, and the movies we saw like 2 shitty ones in theaters too so far.
No, Bye Bye Man was great.
No, that was shit. And then Rings, like it kind of killed my vibe for the theater, and I want to get back into that. You know?
I know. Well, we're seeing Alien Covenant coming up here.
I hope that's like a movie.
It's already getting positive reviews, so that's one good thing.
Yeah.
Rings wasn't getting any positive reviews.
Rings was so bad.
All right, well, you got to get going to go to school here soon. And I got to go edit my podcast and get everything ready. And we'll see you guys. We'll see you guys next time with another episode 10. So,
yeah.
Later.
Got a DM from a teenage beauty. Wants me to come to a spot and watch Goonies. So I slipped me a roofie. Then slid my dick in a slippery booty. Rolled up some reefer on the lower back while I beat that beaver. In the bedroom theater. Pulled it out of her ass, wiped off of my t-shirt. She want red wine and dinner, bitch. You getting red vines and Twizzlers. Soft porn, cock in the popcorn, show some respect. RoboCop song, blew me till the teeth hurt. Bust 2 nuts, that's a double feature. Who would've thunk it? Netflix, the new code word for fucking. Baby, what's the deal? You wanna watch Netflix and chill? Baby, I'm for real. I won't pull out if you want the pill. Baby, what's the deal? You wanna watch Netflix and chill? Baby, I'm for real. I won't pull out if you want the